Right, welcome back, Year 5. It's a lovely Thursday afternoon. It's roughly 12 o'clock at Cyril Jackson. We're going to continue on with our Greek myth series, the story of Persephone and the pomegranate seed. Now, where we last left off, quick summary was we had a girl called Persephone and her mother Demeter who were picking flowers in the Sicilian wood. Now, if you remember, there was a god called Pluto who was the god of the underworld, who was feeling very lonely, and he decided to go on his chariot, go above ground, and then try to snatch himself a wife so that he wouldn't feel lonely. And who but better to just snatch Persephone? If you remember, he snatched her by the hair, which is a very unusual thing to do. But anyway, we're going to continue. So, where it last said, Persephone, darling, time to go home. That's Demeter calling out to Persephone. But there was no answer. Demeter called out and asked everyone she met, but it was hopeless. Persephone had simply disappeared. All Demeter's work was forgotten as she searched high and low for the child. Nothing mattered but to find Persephone. So the flowers wilted, the crops stopped growing, and as Demeter wept, the trees wept with her, shedding their leaves in brown and yellow tears. Because if you remember, Demeter was the goddess of what was around the nature. So if she cried, then, nature cried as well. After searching the world over, Demeter returned to Sicily and sat down in despair beside the river. As she gazed at the water, what should come spinning by on the current but a little cord of flowers? Persephone is in the underworld, whispered the water. I saw her. Pluto has stolen her away to be his queen. Then Demeter ran all the way to Mount Olympus and rattled all the gates of heaven. Now, if you don't know about Mount Olympus, that's where all the gods, the Greek gods, that's where they stayed, at the top of the mountain. Zeus, Lord Zeus, help me! Pluto has stolen away my daughter. Make him give her back. Zeus listened to poor Demeter. You say your daughter was taken by force? Pluto shouldn't have done that. But there again. Oh, Zeus, she interrupted him. If I don't get my daughter back, how shall I go on decking the earth with flowers and fruit? I only do it out of joy, and without Persephone, there is no joy for me. Let the earth wither and die for all I care. Zeus shivered at the thought. The little people on the earth would quickly stop paying tribute to the gods, so tribute is like a sacrifice, if the crops stopped growing and their trees died. It's not up to me, he said gruffly. There are rules. If Persephone eats anything while she is in the underworld, she cannot come back to the earth. That's the rule. Then what are you waiting for? Said Demeter. Send your messenger this instant. And though Zeus sent Hermes, a fast-flying god of all, Demeter sped ahead of him that day, pulling on his sleeve, begging him to hurry. Meanwhile, below the earth, Pluto laid in front of Persephone a delicious feast. He knew, what she did not know, that if she ate one mouthful, she must stay with him forever. I'm too miserable to eat, sobbed Persephone. Let me go. Why don't you let me go? It's so dark and gloomy here. Pluto no longer thought his kingdom was dark or gloomy. Now that Persephone sat at a throne besides his, it seemed bright and cheerful. Hosts of ghosts came streaming through the darkness to gaze at his new bride. Pluto was very happy indeed. Oh, but you must eat, my dear. Just try a little something. He held up a dish of limes, an almond cake, a cup of broth, tempting her to eat. Sounds like he really wants her. I'd rather die than eat your food, said Persephone. even though she was very, very hungry. Just a little taste. Pluto held up half a pomegranate, all red and juicy, smiling with seeds. He forced open her fingers and sprinkled 12 seeds into her palm. Now we're going to stop it there because I think it's a good place to stop. Now, remember, Persephone has just been given some pomegranate, and the title is called Persephone and the Pomegranate Seed. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Persephone is actually going to eat something and be tricked into staying with Pluto forever? We'll find out next time.